Deep in the algorithmic forest lived three bears. Not ordinary bears, oh no. These bears were quite modern. They knew their bits from their bytes. Papa Bear was a blockchain wizard. He dreamt in cryptographic hashes. He said "HODL" to his honeypots. His claws often tapped on keyboards. Sometimes he forgot he was a bear and tried to log into trees. Mama Bear was an artist, a digital artist with a flair. She made quirky, glitchy creations, pixelated portraits of bewildered bees, abstract sculptures of streaming salmon. Her studio was a rainbow of screens. She wore mismatched virtual reality goggles, humming old modem songs to herself. She believed art should buffer, for dramatic effect, of course. Then there was Baby Bear. He lived mostly in virtual worlds, exploring digital dens and meta-meadows. He chased algorithmic butterflies with a tiny, custom-made headset. He often bumped into real furniture. "The haptic feedback is so realistic," he'd yelp. He thought his avatar was cooler. It had much better fur shaders and could fly sometimes. The algorithmic forest itself was strange. Trees shimmered with lines of code. Their leaves were tiny, glowing screens. Rivers flowed with data streams murmuring the latest internet gossip. Flowers bloomed in RGB colors, changing hues with network traffic. Even the rocks had USB ports, though no one knew what they charged. It was a very connected wilderness. Their cottage was not made of gingerbread. It was a smart cottage, of course. Solar panels shaped like honeycombs gleamed on its mossy, fiber-optic roof. Inside, wires snaked like metallic vines amongst comfy chairs and fluffy rugs. It smelled faintly of warm circuits and Mama Bear's experimental digital perfume, which sometimes smelled like burnt toast or, oddly, fresh pine needles. Papa Bear had his own corner, a glorious mess of blinking lights. Old hard drives hummed ancient tunes. Monitors displayed fluctuating crypto charts. "Bearcoin is mooning," he would roar, startling the digital dust bunnies. He had a special cooling fan pointed directly at his favorite server, which he called the Honeypot Mark II. It was his most precious possession. Mama Bear's studio was a vibrant chaos. Digital paint splattered on virtual canvases. A 3D printer hummed constantly, churning out bizarre geometric squirrels or teacups that looked like sea urchins. She once tried to print a new friend. It came out as a very confused dodecahedron. "Art is about surprises," she declared. Her inspiration came from error messages and the occasional system crash. Baby Bear's playpen was a nest. A tangle of VR cables and controllers, beanbag chairs shaped like large pixels. He had a collection of virtual pets, a glitchy griffin, a binary bunny. Sometimes they escaped into the house network, appearing on the smart fridge display, demanding digital carrots or cloud-based crackers. "My griffin needs a firmware update," he'd shout, searching for a spare cable. One bright morning, data motes danced. Mama Bear stretched her digital limbs. "Let's go for a walk," she announced. "The forest is particularly sparkly today." She needed inspiration, you see, for her new masterpiece, Lagging Llama Lament. She hoped to capture the perfect buffer, the essence of digital delay. Papa Bear looked up from his charts. His eyes were a little blurry. "A walk," Papa Bear grumbled. "But the honeypot index is volatile." He tapped his paw-held device anxiously. He needed to monitor his Bearcoin and watch out for digital woodpeckers. They were notorious for hacking bear wallets. "Fine," he conceded, "but I'm bringing my tablet." He couldn't risk missing a market fluctuation or a critical security patch. The forest was full of unsecured Wi-Fi. Baby Bear cheered with delight. A walk meant new, augmented realities. He grabbed his special AR glasses, the ones that made trees look like candy canes and turned pebbles into gumdrops. He hoped to find a rare virtual butterfly, one that only appeared after a system reboot. "Maybe I'll find a legendary loot drop." He bounced on his little bear toes. His tail wiggled with anticipation. They decided to activate Bear 6A, their home AI security system. It was a very serious AI, prone to dramatic announcements and bouts of unexpected poetry. Papa Bear had upgraded it from a slightly singed smart toaster. "Bear 6A, Papa Bear boomed loudly. "Engage Forest Perimeter Defense Protocol Omega 9. He always used the fanciest phrases. Bear 6A's voice echoed through the cottage. It was surprisingly deep and sonorous for an AI that once toasted bread. "Affirmative, Creator Unit Papa," it intoned. "Commencing poetic lockdown sequence, stand by." The lights in the cottage flickered. A low hum filled the air. It was all very theatrical. Bear 6. A loved a good performance, even if it was just for the bears. Mama Bear rolled her eyes fondly. "Oh, here we go again," she muttered. "The digital bard is warming up." She grabbed her digital sketch pad and a stylus that looked like a twig. Baby Bear giggled, his AR glasses on. The cottage walls now seemed to ripple like a pond made of shimmering code. He saw a tiny pixelated frog hop across Papa Bear's boot. As the three bears stepped outside into the crisp, algorithmic air, Bear 6. A began its farewell recital, its voice broadcast from tiny, hidden speakers. "Hark, the Ursine Trio ventures forth now to digital glades beneath a data bow. May your pixels be bright, your bandwidth wide, while I, your humble guardian, reside inside." The bears paused, listening politely. It was part of the routine. Fear not the bite, nor the buffering plight, for Bear 6A watches through the day and night. No rogue algorithm, no malware mean shall breach the sanctity of this coded scene. Go safely now on your woodland quest. The door clicked shut with an electronic sigh. A final soft chime sounded. The bears looked at each other and then they smiled. The algorithmic forest awaited their steps.